Parent live stream. It says we're going. All right.
Yeah.
We are live. This is a special Saturday edition of the Love Gurus podcast. Thank you all for being here. We are going to take more dating questions from the wild animals on Reddit, starting right about
You think your love life is going kind of bad?
close.
If you find out your girlfriend accidentally banged your dad.
Well, it's a bad Saturday.
You think your romance maybe ain't the norm.
Yup.
You find out your fiance has been slipping it to your mom.
Terrible family.
Just
Terrible.
ask the Love Gurus to tell you.
Shout out to
what
Joel
do.
for writing us the theme song. Much
Listen to
appreciated,
the
bud.
Love Gurus, or your life is screwed. Love Gurus.
Oh, you heard the man. This is the Love Gurus podcast, ready to answer the ridiculous dating questions from not only the wild animals on Reddit, but from you guys live in the chat. We're normally live Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, so follow us, like, and subscribe. Give us your comments. Give us your questions on the show. We need them. But for right now, I am super excited about introducing our guests. First up, Suzanne, how's your Saturday going?
Oh, it's just amazing. I don't even want to delay anymore. Let's just introduce our special guest.
Dude, let's do it. Let's do it. First up, first guest. She is the official fill-in co-host. Who is
special guests.
Special guest.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
I have a reverse lisp. Sometimes I mean to say the S, and then it's a reverse lisp.
Dude, that's all right. I'm hammered as well. So. First up, she is the official fill-in co-host, the one, the only Amy Liszka. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I love virtual. I love Zoom because I'm able to do this podcast while watching our kid. Woo!
Yes.
So if you happen to see me go blank or mute myself, it's just because I'm being a parent right now. But thanks for having me.
I used to do during the podcast, but I dropped him. And now she watches them during the podcast. But let's introduce our special guest, first-time guest to the show, a hilarious stand-up comic, host of Tell Me Everything on SiriusXM Progress. You can catch that Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern to midnight. The one, the only, John Fugelsang. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Can I just
Absolutely,
say that,
man.
Can I just say that raising a baby in separate rooms while live streaming YouTube shows in separate rooms is peak America 2023. You guys nailed it.
It's the millennial way, you know.
There you go.
We don't stop live streaming just to give a kid milk, you know. It doesn't happen. We got
I'm
to
creating
multitask.
emojis of both of you.
That's right. That's right. The emoji that represents us best is the crying baby reaching for a bottle. That's
There's no health care for live streaming yet, so you got to do what you got to do.
That's really true. Babies will kick you and they will bite you and scream at you and hurt you, and you keep thinking love can change them. Babies are Chris Brown and we're Rihanna. I feel
but they pronounce it Quiz Brown, and it's really adorable.
That's actually true.
You kind of forgive them for it.
Oh no, the best thing is when Thor 3 came out, because my toddler called it Four Fwee.
Poor Fwee.
Then the next one was 4-4, which was just as good. So
nice. Is there really 4 Thors yet? Is that a thing?
We're 4 Thors deep. Yes, we're 4 Thors deep.
Wow.
Well, that's how children in America learn how to count. It's just by counting, the Marvel movies. They're like, one, and that's why that's why they made Fast and Furious 13 is because we got to 12.
Disgrace. It's a disgrace. In my day, George Lucas was teaching us Roman numerals. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Way ahead of these kids.
100%. You remember how good a movie had to be to get a trilogy? Like, it was called a trilogy. It was just
how good
epic.
a movie had to be for me to learn 6 in Roman numerals. That's how good.
I only learned to read through scrolling words in outer space. That's I saw that movie many, many times growing up. But without further ado, are you guys ready to take your first question from the wild animals on Reddit?
Yeah.
All right. First question from the wild animals on Reddit. People, if you got questions to write in, write them to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, watch live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or sometimes on Saturdays now. We're doing special weekends editions. So follow us on socials, like and subscribe for right now. We are going to take our first question from the wild animals on Reddit.
So for this week, our loose theme, it's spoiled or pickled. And so the reason why we picked that theme is because some of these relationships are spoiled. Some of them are just kind of transitioning into something that could be just as equally delicious. So that is our theme for this week. And
I like that we're old enough now that pickled is still like a good thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, that would, before it would just be like, oh, it's got little bumps on it. It tastes like vinegar. Now it's like pickled. Yeah. Salty, sour. It's awesome.
I would definitely rather eat a pickle than a cucumber, which is also my OnlyFans channel.
Pickle or cucumber.
I don't know how I would feel if someone compared my relationship to a pickle. I really don't. I don't know.
It's a resurgence of pickle. They need to get a new PR person. It's, they have this negative connotation. Pickled means bad, but I fucking love pickles. Okay?
I have lots of relationships I call pickles because they're always on the side. Thank you.
I used to have my relationships referred to as a pickle, but I got those things burned off at the free clinic. So now we're good.
There you go.
So first question on the Love Gurus podcast. Husband met a nurse at the hospital. I'm 25 and my husband is 27.
Always.
About 2 months ago, my niece and sister were in the hospital for over 2 weeks due to a house fire. They're both okay now, thankfully. I never got to go to the hospital because of work and taking care of our son. While he was there, my husband was there, he met one of his niece's primary nurses. Apparently she was cool and they were into a lot of the same stuff. Mind you, he was there for quite some time, obviously due to the circumstances. I didn't know about him meeting the nurse except for the fact that he said the people there were nice and did a great job. Fast forward to now that his family members are about to be released. I got out of work and called him and asked how everything was. Then he said something along the lines of, I feel like I can't ever make new friends that are girls without feeling guilty because I know how you get. I just feel like you don't trust me. I told him that this was all very sudden and asked him where it was coming from. And then I asked him if he had met a nurse at the hospital. He said yes. I told him that I don't mind him having friends that are girls. I mean, he has a bunch. He's known people since like 8th grade. So I don't have a problem with it, but it's how their friendship began that bugs me. How I feel is that there's no reason for her to be in his life other for that time. It's not like I would be comfortable with them just hanging out. I just don't see why he would need.
Oh no. Cliffhanger.
Oh,
Cliffhanger.
Super intense. There we go.
All right.
Dramatic
honestly,
pause.
I feel like, we'll pause, but I just feel like we don't even need Suzanne to finish this question.
Yeah.
Oh, Suzanne, you back? Yeah, you froze like really bad in the middle of the question.
Oh no!
Good.
No, right.
Oh,
it was
good.
right at the end. It was right at the end. So she's not comfortable being friends with this nurse because their time together obviously has come to an end. So that's where you got cut off.
Okay. So this is the end of the question. So it's so she goes through his phone. She continues on. The nurse was in his search bar on Instagram. Not only is she completely his type, but she also has a bunch of revealing photos on her page. I'm not jealous. I mean, she obviously looks great, but he continually went back to look at her Insta. Am I overreacting? What do I do in this situation?
Wow.
So to give a quick recap, the husband, he was spending a lot of time at the hospital. He meets a cool nurse and then says to her, hey, says to his wife, I want to be friends with her. And then she goes through his phone and finds that he has looked her up on Insta. So a lot to unpack here. To me, honestly, I think that there's two big red flags. One is that she's saying, why do you want to make new friends? Don't you already have enough friends? It's like, well, who are you, the friend, please? And then secondly, the fact that she just goes through his phone, that's just how she rolls. That's
a good point. Yeah. They always breeze past the little details that don't look good for them,
Wait, am I overreacting? Am I a crazy person? Because I think she's totally sane. I don't think this wife has any problem. I think she's doing the right thing. I think she's assuming the right thing. And I think he's being a crazy person. Like, why is all of a sudden she looks crazy? I don't know.
Well, maybe he was just fantasizing about potential partners who would respect his privacy. I know a lot of people are into that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be too fetishy, but I have incredible fantasies about people not going through my phone. So that's how I was raised. But I would say I think that she should leave him and her family should leave her. Because because it was her sister and her niece in a house fire, and this guy went to the hospital to be there when she wouldn't go once. So
good point.
I didn't even catch that. I was too focused on that he met a nurse.
I mean, well, let's be frank here. Clearly, he cared about her sister and her niece at least the first time, and then kept coming back and back for his new friend. But you know what? I think it goes to show memorizing your husband's passwords always pays off. So keep on spying on him, and I'm sure your relationship will go into just avoid direct communication. Don't actually be direct with him, and just keep spying on him. And it's the healthiest way to keep a relationship going for years.
Yeah,
that's right.
Can you divorce someone if you hack into their own email? Like, does that? Like you get a divorce just by stealing their identity through their own email. Surely,
it depends on your prenup, and I don't think she has one.
No, this does not have prenup written on it. If it's a house fire,
I doubt it.
Does it say anything about how old they are? If they have kids, or are they just
20? She's 25 and he's 27, and then they do. It does say that they have a son.
Wow.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
This has insurance fraud written all over it. That's why I think the wife is staying away from it. She's like, we can't be seen in the same hospital together. I was the one that lit the fire.
Oh, from the house fire?
Yes.
There was one time I sometimes when we go up to the in-laws, like we go to church because my partner's mom's very Catholic, and the priest gave a sermon about how there was a congregation and they had this building that they wanted to tear down and make a new community center, but they didn't have enough money for it. So they prayed and they prayed and they prayed, and the building burned down. God made the building burn down. And praise Jesus, then they had enough from the insurance money to build the community.
God didn't hear the prayers, but Jimmy the Torch did. And for a nominal fee out of the collection plate, I was able to make all the prayers come true.
Yeah. I think that if I put myself into this situation, if I had suspicions that my partner was cheating on me, I would just let it roll. Because I would just let it play out, because either what's going to happen is that either he's going to pick the other person, or he's going to pick me. And I'm not going to, this like staying up and sneaking around and waiting till he goes in the shower to go through his phone. Like, I'm busy. Yes. I'm really busy that day. Like, I don't want my life to be about you. That's gross.
20-year-olds have way too much energy. That's like, honestly, what I thought about too. I was like, I would just either he does already, he's in hot water, period. But honestly, I probably wouldn't even have gone that far, because the energy to look through someone's phone is just like, I don't know. I have to sleep. I have to.
Yeah, very few happy relationships involve your partner cheating on you. So, like, if you even are really suspicious enough that you're going all Jason Bourne on him to, you're screwing a nurse, like if you're doing that, it's probably not a good relationship anyway.
Sounds a bit sadder than that. We don't have any indication that this nurse is interested in her sad sack husband at all, do we?
Oh my God, excellent point. Yes.
I mean, like, the nurse was probably being very polite, just like the strippers do. And I'm sure that the nurse, engaged him when he wanted to talk about Pokemon or whatever his thing was. And I'm sure that he's really, let's just say, I'll bet money the nurse hasn't been going through his Instagram pictures.
Oh, for sure. So,
he calls it flirting. She calls it professional bedside manner. And it's getting mixed up.
Only 27. That's just the beginning of the most emotionally psychotic time in a man's life. You got 3 more years where this will be the most innocent thing he'll do. So
it's gonna get weird. He's gonna start following the nurses home. It's gonna get ridiculous when he's 37.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, in the grand scheme of things, if they say, okay, I don't think that she says how long they've been married.
If she's going through his phone, she knows there's not an affair. This is a guy who went to the hospital to care for her sister and niece, and now the lonely bastard is looking at pictures of nurses who won't talk to him on Instagram.
Oh man,
it's either patience or pity. Those are your two options. That's all you got.
Yeah, that's true, man. And in terms of porn, I will say that the nurse porn is some of the most unrealistic porn out there. Like, it's not going to happen. Nurses don't sleep with people like patients at work. I find it
so unhygienic as well. It's shocking.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I think that
they were wearing masks before COVID. You think they're taking their pants off? Like, no, it's not going to happen.
Oh, see, I think of it the opposite way. I feel like there's almost like a fetish for nurses because it's like, they've seen some dirty stuff. Like, if you're into dirty stuff, you want to be with a nurse. Like, a nurse isn't going to get grossed out by.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. She's changing bedpans. She's not going to go, ew, I'm not going to do that. That's it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I want someone to be my sex partner. I want someone to be my sex partner who's not afraid of blood or needles.
I need somebody experienced in trauma care. I live in a trunk. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I belong to a really, really niche fetish group. Can you make a tourniquet? That's my only question.
My last wife left me because I gave her PTSD from, just normal run-of-the-mill stuff I'm into.
My last wife left me because I looked at pictures of her niece's nurse on Instagram. So you got it.
My niece's nurse porn. Yeah, that don't even work as a porn category. The niece's nurse porn. That's not even.
Oh, but it does.
Find that on Pornhub. Like, it's not even a thing.
Yeah. Well, I think we've really dissected this. So let's just go to final advice.
Before we do final advice, I got some comments.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt on YouTube says, cheating. He says she is cheating. He is cheating. Motel 6 and Super 8 adds to 14. Joel on YouTube says she doesn't mind him having a consultation with the nurse. It's when the consultation takes place in the linen closet that she draws the line.
Yeah.
Let's see. Matt on YouTube says women have all access. They are in your grandfather's email. She has your uncle's PIN code. Matt says, you want money, father? I need a big bottle of Prestone antifreeze, a pistol, and kitchen matches. I got your bingo swinging. Harley says, hi, Amy. Shout out. There you go.
Just one quick question on that last one. Don't you just need a pistol? Like, what's with the antifreeze and everything? Like, is that like for disposing of the body? Like, what do you just need the pistol?
The antifreeze. Is he making a bomb? Like, what is this? What is it even
maybe
for?
It's, how pets like antifreeze, like it has like a sweet flavor. So maybe the idea is that with the body, he dumps antifreeze on it in hopes that all the stray neighborhood cats just eat the victim. No?
Could be. Maybe he's making himself cocktails with it. He's like, no, the antifreeze was for me, I mix it with vodka. It actually kind of tastes like White Claw anyway. So I found the secret ingredient.
That was a version 1 of the White Claw batch. But yeah, so my final advice for this woman is, listen, it's regardless of what he's doing, it just sounds like she's not comfortable in the relationship. She doesn't trust him. And so just that alone, despite all this other like crazy stuff she's doing, again, extrapolate this for, however long you guys are probably going to live. It's just like, just cut, your kid's probably young, just get out. And then you're too young to start down this path of crazy. Because what's going to happen is that she's going to then be that mom that's like driving 90 miles an hour through a tunnel and, rush hour traffic with her kid in the car. She's going to do something crazy.
I'm getting Karen and Goodfellas vibes off her for sure.
Yeah. She's definitely got like a gun in her underwear.
yeah. Banging on those apartment doors, with the kids there. Is this the super? Yeah, I that's what this lady's doing.
Yeah, I think my advice to her would be call your sister and niece and see if they're okay. On them, maybe that would be my relationship advice for her.
Yeah, did she even say how intimate they are? Are they like in a body cast?
They're ancillary. No, her husband was looking at someone's pictures on Instagram. None of that matters. Fire, third degree burns. Who knows? Yeah.
she's finally going to see the sister and the kid, and they can barely talk. And they're just kind of, oh my God, thank you, Linda. I don't know where you've been, but it's so good to see you. Like, yeah, listen, and not now, Krista. I think Frank is cheating. I think he's banging your nurse, that son of a bitch. Have you seen him looking at the nurse too much? Blink twice for yes and 3 times for no.
She can't trust him. He can't trust her. And we all have to be terrified of one day being mugged by their kids. So
my final advice is anytime that there's any type of sexy occupation like nurse, bartender, she just has to find another hospital, another bar to go to. I don't know. Just
you were the first person to ever call nursing a sexy occupation, and I love it.
Okay, I literally went to school to become a nurse because I thought I would get more dates. Am I like crazy here? You got nurses are hot, right? Aren't there sexy nurses? Am I going crazy?
Apparently, there's one out there somewhere.
On Cinemax, there's lots of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
In real life, they'll settle for union benefits and not mandatory overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she needs to change hospitals. I don't know.
Don't we all?
My final advice to her would be, well, I think, again, I like the idea of you leaving the husband and everybody else because you sound like a nightmare to be around. That said, we are giving you advice. So my advice, figure out if he is actually cheating on you with the nurse, and then one-up him, cheat on him with a doctor.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. This kid is going to be so proud of his parents. Let me tell you.
Yeah. And just let the kid know years from now when he can figure out what's going on. He's like, son, I want you to know that your mother was willing to destroy our relationship for a nurse. I did it for a doctor. So
question, you're talking about the parents that he gets after Child Protective Services takes him away, right? You're not.
Oh yeah. I hope CPS
like he hasn't met his real parents yet.
Yeah. These are the birth parents only.
This baby is a ticking time bomb, people.
He's going to be 15 years from now. He's going to be the king incel. He is going to be just all over 4chan and 8chan and Jackie Chan, all of them.
For this baby. Just background checks.
Don't let him join the Air National Guard and give him a laptop.
No militia for you.
Perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. Let's move on to the next question.
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you've got questions to write them to Love Gurus podcast at yahoo.com, or even better, watch every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, or on Saturdays for the special editions. For right now, we're going to take our next question from the wild animals on Reddit.
Next question. My husband texts his ex. I'm 33. My partner is 36. We've been together for 3 years. He has 3 kids. I have 1. We don't live together, and his ex-wife is still in the picture because they co-parent. We have had some arguments in the past about lack of boundaries when it comes to his relationship with his ex. I'm obviously more than happy for them to have a healthy co-parenting relationship, but it's always felt a little too close for my liking. Anyway, cut to last night. I'm home alone. My son was with his dad, and my partner was with his kids, and I see my son's iPad that my partner had given to him. For some reason, I was compelled to see if there were any texts on the iPad from my boyfriend's phone. Well, all the messages were there. My heart was racing, and I wanted to stop, but I started reading through the messages with his ex. There are 2 things that were concerning me.
I feel so bad for the kids in these questions. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
The pickle part? I'm not sure.
There are 2 things that are concerning that I can't move past. My boyfriend has been paying her to help him at work. He's a contractor, and he's been paying her to help him with the jobs, like being his assistant, getting coffee, tools, etc. Recently, his house was a mess. A few days later, I came over and it was completely spotless. He bragged about how he worked so hard to clean it. I laughed and asked if he'd gotten a cleaner, and he said, as if. Well, can you guess who actually cleaned it? His ex. I know that this isn't cheating, but he's definitely withholding a lot of information from me. How do I approach this?
Maybe the ex doesn't want her kids to live in a dirty house. Maybe that she came over and she's like, this is filthy. I'm going to clean it right now.
That's really logical. I didn't even think about that. I think Speaking of Halloween costumes, nurses and maids, I just imagine her in like a French maid costume, you know, bending over cleaning the toilet.
Maids, sexy nurses. That's
yeah. I mean, when it's to the point to where your boyfriend's ex is coming over and cleaning your place, you both need to sit down and be like, we got to start cleaning more. I mean, this is how dirty is your place to where
how much more do you want to win? Your boyfriend's ex is cleaning your place. How much more do you want to win here?
That's a good point. That's like Roman emperor shit.
I really like that she's worried about his boundaries. You know, scrolling through his private messages made her concerned about his boundaries. I love it when the right people find each other, you know?
Oh, yeah. She had to, not all heroes wear capes, as we like to say on this podcast.
I just don't see the problem. Like, it's not like she found dirty messages. She just found her actually cleaning the house, right?
Well, yeah. Well, no. And then also there was the fact that apparently the ex is also, because he's a contractor, like she has been helping with his job. But again, like that's explainable. Like if she's, you know, hard up for money and he's making money, it's okay. Like she can help him.
He's paying her for work, but she's also the mother of his children. So it's not as hard. But if he's keeping this a secret from her somehow, then that is worth looking into. But again, you can't bring it up because then you're the bad guy, sister.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. When you find it from not just going through his phone, but like your kid's phone, I mean, that's another level of snooping. Yeah. That is just, now you're bringing the kid into it. It's sort of like tapping a phone illegally as the FBI. Like if you find something really bad, you might be able to.
I mean, admittedly, it's a shared iPad, right? It's a shared iPad. The kid has access. So that always happens if, a message pops up, but she was pretty thorough and went through it. Now, clearly, if she went through it this thoroughly, she knows there's nothing romantically untoward going on.
Right.
And if they're not married, how he spends his money is his business. But, if he's not being straight with her about the amount of contact he still has and how close he still is to his ex-wife, well, then he just gave her a great get out of hell free card if she chooses to cash it in.
Yeah.
Like here's the bullet, Neo. You have a lot of time to dodge it.
That's a good point. She's sort of finding this, and it's that he's not doing anything that bad. This is maybe like a 1 or a 2, if that, but he's covering it up like it's an 8 or a 9. And so it's like, it's the cover up. It's a whole Richard Nixon Watergate situation where it's the cover up that's going wrong.
Yeah. The cover up is always worse than the crime. I say this about both Donald Trump's crimes and his hair. The cover up.
Yeah. It's definitely concerned. Yeah. The fact that he's not disclosing it, but but also the husband could be like, listen, I know that you have access to the iPad. I don't care. I'm not doing anything wrong. She, again, she is the mother of my child. Is he does he have to disclose every interaction with her? I don't know. Like, is there a part, like maybe she's embarrassed and maybe the house was just dirty. And I
mean, they're not living together, so they're not really at the shared bank account yet. But I mean, if he's lying to her about the fact that he's paying his ex-wife, then that's a cause for concern. But generally, I think so far he's more trustworthy than she is.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the reason this guy's lying to cover it up is he knows that his girlfriend is an absolute nightmare and flips out about little shit.
This does to me kind of have like small town vibes written all over it because of the fact that I mean, maybe she would hear about it from the neighbors, but it's like the fact that like the wife is there and it's like it just seems small towny. And so she has this kid, she's dating this other guy that has 3 kids and she's still, pretty young. It's, maybe there's not a lot of options where she lives. And so it's like, well, I got to put up with Barry because the only other option is Jim Bob with no back teeth, Yeah.
So, there's Gary and Larry, the 2 guys I can sleep with in my town that are age appropriate and not married yet.
Putting my hand down hard on this, I really think she needs to thank the ex-wife. I think what's happening is her partner now is a complete mess. He can't keep his life together. He can't keep his job together. And his ex-wife has always been taking care of it. And her partner doesn't want to like spill the beans that he's actually this much a mess in his actual life, and it's always ex-wife that's been taking care of it.
That's a good point.
He wants to still keep on the facade that hey, I'm a good dude. Stay with me. This is what left me. And I think the ex-wife is actually just used to taking care of him, and that's what led to their divorce in the first place.
Yes.
And
you don't listen. I understand why you want to be scared of a cheater, but you should be much more scared of a child man.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Child man will make your life feel really long.
He'll make you wish he would go cheat so that somebody else had to go to change his huggies.
Child man wants you to be mommy.
This is a question for the group. What's worse? Someone who is a man that is taken care of by his ex or by his mom. I would pick the ex is way better than like if you're with someone whose mommy takes care of him still. Like that's to me like
what if he's Italian and you're supposed to live at home till you're 40? What about
I just want to know who's doing the taxes, because whoever does that, I'm on their side. Okay. Like,
that's a good point. Oh, she's totally doing the taxes. Yeah. If she's cleaning the house and doing his job, she's damn sure doing the taxes.
And by the way, what is the work he's paying her? We don't have enough information here. What is the contract for which he's paid?
It said that the ex is acting sort of like an assistant, getting coffee, tools, etc. So
cleaning his house. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so he can't do the regular part of his job. So he's not actually tasking out, like actual work, like contracts to her. It's just like, I can't keep a calendar. I can't keep my office clean. I can't keep my appointments. She's doing she has to come in. Even though she's not married to him, she shows up every time this guy shits his pants, and she now gets to be the Harvey Keitel character in Pulp Fiction. Just like, what's wrong? What happened? Oh Christ, there's blood. When's the wife coming home? I'll clean it up. Like I'll clean the house for you. And she gets to do all of this, and it's a thankless job. And now she's getting hounded by his new girlfriend, who's not even cleaning or helping him with any of this stuff. So my heart goes out to the ex. You're doing all the work. You're not being paid enough. You're just like the nurse from the last question. You're not getting enough love. You're not getting enough money, and people are after you now.
Yeah. See, I say she is just making sure she's still getting her alimony, and yes, they are fucking. Okay. Anyways.
Right.
I think my final advice for this person is look, there's certainly some reason to be concerned about this, but it's, weigh your options. If you're happy with the relationship and you're happy with, and you can get past that contact, but the fact that you're reaching out to the internet sort of leans to that you're not okay with it. And if you're gonna settle when you're 33, like, I mean, you shouldn't settle at any age, like with this guy. I think you guys are donezo. And the silver lining is that you guys don't live together. So what? You don't have to go back and get your toothbrush. Just, I got mine. What's your guys'
so far? Both of these calls seem to just be people who don't know how to directly communicate. I mean, this weird part is they're both women. I expect this from men. Testosterone rots the brain, ladies. I expect y'all to be able to carry on an adult conversation and drag your man into adulthood.
Oh no, you clearly don't spend enough time on Reddit, sir. Even the women there are animals, just pure animal. The good parts of being a woman, they do not have. The bad parts of being a woman, they do, and vice versa for the men.
I think it's cute that you think they're really women, Jake. I think that's adorable.
This is really just some internet troll made up the whole thing.
Yeah, I always have to say this. Any gentleman watching, any woman you've only met on the internet that you haven't, if you've been with a woman carnally and she asks for a picture of your penis, you give it to her and you respect that woman. You do right by that woman and you honor that woman for the rest of your life. You sad sack, you hit the lotto. But gentlemen, any woman you've only met online who wants to see a picture of your penis probably already has a penis. That in mind.
That's right. This lady has a penis, and she either wants to hook up with you or try to get you to join a militia. It's Reddit. Exactly, it could be either one of those things.
Tell me more, Jake, about the women on Reddit. They identify that way.
Yup.
So what other final advice do we have for this question before we move on to
before we do more final advice, I got some comments.
Oh, great.
Joel on YouTube says, if it was my wife, she'd approach the situation with a gun and a wood chipper. Matt on YouTube says, that's why girl have carpenters at your house while you are at work. Come in and overbid.
Wow.
He says, try hen won't leave enough, though she feels guilty. Matt says, mom trims my nose hair in my basement house in String Island. She wears flannel pajamas.
Cute.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so what other final advice do we have before we move on to the next question?
Carry on as you're doing. Don't communicate. Keep on snooping and reading things that you're not supposed to read. Don't respect his privacy and then be mad at him for having poor boundary issues. It's a recipe for a perfect marriage.
Yeah. It's like, at least she's going to have something to do every day. You know, it's,
you can't trust him. Make damn sure he can't trust you. It's a solid foundation.
This is better than reality TV for her. She's like, I like those shows about people who are chaotic and terrible at communicating in relation. Wait a minute, I have that in my own house, you know? And then she just hops on her kid's iPad and she's like, this is like a reality show live. And she completely miscommunicates everything going on in her life.
This lady didn't find anything. She found someone who's actually helping out, pitching in. She needs to appreciate it and not telling herself that she just was too much of a snoop and narc on herself. I don't know.
Well, in fairness, he lied about cleaning his own house. I mean, best case scenario, you have a child man on your hands. You know?
It's like, your ex-wife told you that she was going to come over here and clean your carpets. Is that it's not a metaphor. That's just you being lazy. Shit. Okay. Well, I guess I have to live with that now. God damn it.
Amazing.
If there's a movie about this man's life, he will be played by Will Ferrell. 100%. This is a Will Ferrell character.
Yeah, definitely. Well, great. I think we answered that question. Let's move on to the next question.
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions that you have into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better, give them to us live in the chats on YouTube every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And now, every now and then on Saturdays at 5, man. This is fun. I like doing the weekend shows. So follow us on socials. Find out when the next ones are going to be. At Love Gurus Podcast on all social handles. But for right now, we are going to take our next question from the wild animals on Reddit.
Next question. Am I his girlfriend or just a rebound?
Go through his phone and find out.
Yeah. Go through his kid's phone. Check out the whole scoop on the whole damn family.
I'm 26 and my boyfriend's 28. We haven't been dating long, but we spent a lot of time together. Since the beginning, I've had my doubts that I'm just a rebound. We had both gotten out of relationships a few months before we started, but mine was just a month-long fling, whereas his was a 2.5-year, I want to marry this woman, where he got his heart shattered. He would compare me to her and say things like, she would never come over. You come over all the time. She didn't like to hang out with my friends, but you do. All was positive for me, but still felt a bit icky. A few weeks in, I found a love note that written to her when they'd broken up, saying all the things that he wanted to say to her, but there was a lot of similarities. It was the same nicknames and compliments that he has said to me. He was desperately trying to fix things with her. Then earlier tonight, I found a comment on YouTube where he went on a 4-page rant about everything he messed up with this goddess of a woman.
He's a YouTube commenter? Tell him to comment on our show. Live chat, Love Gurus Podcast.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Then when looking through old Snapchats together of different pictures, that's what I saw a picture that he had taken of her that was an exact replica of one that he had taken of me. That's when it finally hit me, that he's recreating everything that he had with his ex. And that maybe I am just the rebound and he is trying to plug me in to her spot. Is this an irrational fear, or does our relationship have a chance?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
How old are these people?
They are
Nice.
26 and 28.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God.
Late 20s.
20 question.
Okay, here's a question though, and this is the reason why this is why I picked this question rather than just sort of saying, yeah, you guys are death doomed. So, for example, when I was dating, I did have a system. I had a first date itinerary. I had a second date itinerary. So so depending on who I was dating, it was maybe only like the first 3 dates I would have something planned to do. But it
That
wasn't.
sounds OCD as fuck. What was the third date? What was the last date itinerary? What did that involve?
That was normally like a comedy show or something like that. Like, you got to come see a show.
Oh wait, he would see one of your shows?
Yeah. That's
man.
dated, that's like deep.
Dude, that's brutal.
Yeah. But it was like,
did you ever, what was your worst experience of bombing on a third date in front of somebody you've only casually known and / maybe hooked up with?
Oh, well, okay. So not in that instance, but I mean, definitely like I was dating this guy once that, yeah, like I went to, and I bombed so hard. I bombed so hard. And then what did I do? I didn't get off stage. What? I got my guitar out and started singing really bad.
Wait, no, did you used to bring guitars on stage?
Yeah, like when I first started doing comedy, I was trying to be like a music comedian, and I could see him. I could see him in the back, and I mean, he was nice about it. But yeah, it was like the most embarrassing thing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fix this terrible set because I'm not a singer. I'm not really a good musician. I just thought, hey, this guitar is gonna totally turn this around, and it didn't. Spoiler alert.
So you're bombing, and you decide, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bomb with a melody.
Good for
Yeah.
you. Good for you. Did Kid Rock let being a terrible musician stop him? He did
Fuck
not.
no.
Good
No,
for you.
no.
You ball with Tabad that third date.
Yeah.
That's
You
awesome.
make that a horrible third date for the entire audience. I respect that.
They all had a bad third date that night.
They were like, listen, we wanted to have sex before this, but not anymore. Jesus.
It's like she's putting saltpeter into those speakers. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so again, so back to my point was, just because you're sort of doing the same things that you typically do in the beginning of a relationship, that in itself isn't a bad sign, right?
There are no good signs here. This is like driving through the segregated South in 1957, and all the signs are evil and telling you should drive away. This is not. There's no good end to this. The only thing worse than your partner being obsessed with his ex is when you are obsessed with your partner's ex. And this guy has given her so many clear signs that honestly, I'm worried about him. I think this guy deserves to rebound with a woman with higher self-esteem. Don't you want to rebound with someone who's not a complete basket case? If you're going to use someone to lick your wounds and recover, find someone not as tragic as the woman who wrote this letter, because he's sending her engraved messages telling her exactly what this is. And she doesn't seem to want to read them. Maybe in a few years he's ready, but girl, he doesn't deserve you. He's not worthy. My God, beauty magazines have done this. Beauty magazines have convinced so many women that they have got to just lower their standards so hard. And it's better to be with a low wattage dude bro deal breaker than be alone on a Saturday night. And by God, he's not, just in general, just don't date any man between 27 and 30, and you might be okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I hate when I hear about people that are young and with like problems, like love problems, because it takes them so long to figure out what they want. It's like, yeah, I think after 4 years, he isn't going to stop hitting me. I don't know. It's like, it takes them way too long to figure it out. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because certainly for females, like we're so validated when we're in a relationship. It's like, oh, you're worthy now. Oh, well, that's great. Oh, that's so cute that you also have a job. Ooh, it's like, it's such validation for.
But this is what society does, Suzanne. Society gaslights women and convinces them to be a bit. You could lose a couple of pounds, by the way. Society and convinces them to lower their standards and be insecure.
Yeah. You're getting married in 2 weeks.
No, seriously, you look great, and your personality's wonderful. Seriously, and you have such good. You're sassy. Yeah.
Yeah. Smile more.
Did you guys notice though? She phrased all of her questions as if she wasn't a snooper, but all of a sudden she found a letter, and then she found a YouTube rant. You know, it was probably marked private, but somehow she hacked into it. I was like, how is she finding all this stuff just randomly? You know.
I love when they do that, by the way, because there's plenty of questions we've taken on the show where somebody finds the shit by snooping. And sometimes they're flat out honest about it. Like the last couple of questions, like, so I was going through this lying piece of shit's phone, you know, and then other times they kind of just phrase it in a weird way where they're like, I just happen to find his phone unlocked, you know, and it's like, what else? What
they act like it's a grocery list that's like under a magnet on the fridge. Oh,
I tripped and fell and my face landed on it, and somehow my nose must have poked out the combination, and it brought the message right up. I'm the victim here. Yeah,
his face recognition thing, it worked on mine. He needs to get it checked. Either way, I spent 20 minutes in there.
Yeah, because I mean, it is like phones, they are just your history. It shows everything you've done, every person that you've spoken to, etc. So when you're insecure in relationships like this, it's, I mean, the lowest hanging fruit is just to go through that person's phone. And I think it's like maybe that should be the new rule for society. You're not allowed to be in a relationship until you are secure enough in yourself to not go through someone else's phone. Like,
nice.
That's it.
I like that.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to, like what's like you have to have like a straight jacket. If you could be in a relationship with no arms and feel good,
they gotta update all the Bibles, all the religious books, the priest, the imam, whoever at the altar just kind of has to look at each one of them like, hey, eye contact here. Have you looked in his phone in the last like 2 months? Have you? If so, I can't give you one of these. It ain't happening. Oh, Suzanne, I think you froze again. It's funny. Suzanne froze with this face, like she was about to say something. You know what I mean? Like she was about to say something sassy, you know? And so I was waiting for it. Oh, you froze again. You froze. And you froze with this face. Like you were
not being ableist, Jake. You're being ableist.
I'm sorry.
I can't help it, Jake.
I was just glad I wasn't talking when it froze that time. It's like, again, like, you would think that living in New York City, you would have stable internet? No, but it's it's like
you were about to talk
in the middle of the Pacific.
You're right about to talk, though.
It's a pre-war building, which means it was built, back before World War I when they didn't have the internet. We ain't updating shit.
I know. It's so annoying. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone over to the neighbors and been like, I was on a Zoom call and your guys' Wi-Fi froze again. Okay, you guys need to sort this out. They don't seem receptive to my suggestions.
Oh, let me get some. I got some comments coming. I think it's an old comment, and it's about your story. Matt on YouTube says, "Prop comic." That's right. Shame her, Matt. Matt on YouTube says, "Yes, the beginning is over. She has to up her game. It's over all those Sex in the City episodes. What do I get? A dead fish that wears red door perfume. Red door perfume. I don't even know what that is.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
Joel says, or at least if I wake up fully clothed in the Waffle House.
I mean, let's be honest. I went to school at Florida State. If you can end the weekend by saying, listen, I was fully clothed every time I was in a Waffle House this weekend, you had a good weekend.
That's right. But if you can't say that, you had an even better one. Oh, love being naked in the Waffle House. Matt says, listen, baby, can't you see I taped my restraining order to the front door anyway? Joel on YouTube says, I wasn't sure if Suzanne was getting ready to say something or if that was the look of disdain after reading my comments. Yeah, no, you were frozen with a look that was like you were about to just say something wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty pumped to go back and look at it. So
I'm gonna take that and make that your new headshot.
Okay,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Great. Okay, so I feel like I gave my final advice. Any other final advice for this until we move on to our last question?
No. Run away. Run away.
Oh,
this isn't a relationship. That's all you got to say.
No, but here's the thing: run away, so then he'll be obsessed with you.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she dumps him now, he's going to be this guy tomorrow. she was there for me as my rebound and I didn't appreciate what I had. And then he'll be obsessed with you. And the next girl will be looking through his phone to learn what he said about you. So it's really just the circle of pathetic, and you can get off the Ferris wheel anytime you want.
Make him the game, the book called The Game or whatever.
Yeah. The Game, was that the Michael Douglas one?
Yeah, just I don't know, just basically make them want you, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the book that women are supposed to read so that men just can't resist us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're playing games here, people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I say, do my final advice is do like the Michael Douglas movie, The Game, and send him into crazy puzzle traps, just all over, like South America, everything. Have him going the whole way and make him think like, oh, and this is to get your ex-girlfriend back, and then she's not back. Jump off the roof, and then you're all partying in the basement because it was one of those fake kind of things. But yeah,
a man who writes 8-page critiques on YouTube will never put you first, ladies. That's all.
That's right. I get on YouTube and critique his critique, get in the comment section, make a fake profile, and then get in there and just troll him and call him a loser and all this stuff.
Yeah. Perfect. I think we answered that question. Let's move on to our last question, and we are going to do this one lightning round style.
Oh, okay. There we go. Lightning round. Last question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions to the Love Gurus podcast at yahoo.com, or even better, like and subscribe. Watch live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or whenever we do our special editions, man. That's why you got to follow on socials. Check us out on Instagram, the Love Gurus podcast on Instagram. Right now, we're going to take our last question, lightning round style, from Reddit.
Okay, last question. And then for lightning round style, what we'll do is I'll read the question and then we'll just go around the group and everyone give final advice. So last question. Girlfriend wants to be a social media influencer. I'm 28 and my girlfriend's 23 and we've been dating for 5 years. We have a 3-year-old daughter together. The past year, my girlfriend and I got into NFTs. It was fun having a mutual interest with her until I stopped so I could focus on trading stocks. The middle of last year, she tells me that she wants to be a Twitter influencer for the NFT community. Of course, I always want to support what she does, and I don't mind. I started to get some red flags when she removed all the photos of us and our daughter off of her Instagram and Twitter and changed her bio. She's also been spending a lot of time with other people in the NFT community and has even started meeting up with them in real life. Again, I want to support her in her career, but it seems like she's really diving into this head first. Should I be concerned? I'll go first for this question. I think that this couple seems like a match made in heaven. She wants to be an NFT Twitter influencer. He trades stocks. I mean, mwah. I think that little Cupid himself couldn't have done a better job. I think, sir, what you need to match crazy with crazy. If you think that she is getting too into the NFT community, but you want to support her, you need to double down on whatever like fucked up internet shit that you're doing as well. Like, you're a big GameStop trader guy, you need to get into crypto. Okay, that's your next step. That's the only thing that's really missing from your relationship, sir. And I think you guys are going to make it, and I'm so excited for your baby daughter.
Exactly right. Exactly. Yeah. Wall Street investor and Twitter influencer for NFTs together. You really are doing so much to destroy a once great culture, and from different sides, but with the same goal. So I appreciate that.
It's how do you eat an elephant? One NFT at a time. Okay, right. I'm pretty sure that was a famous saying.
Right. By the way, what kind of a monster supports a woman's career goals to be a Twitter NFT influencer? Monster feeds that. I mean, why not? What does she want to fly? Will you support that as well?
I love this. This is somewhere in Rome, way back in like 27 AD or whatever. Some guy was the one who sold Nero that fiddle, and you, sir, are that fiddle salesman. This guy rocks.
I have final advice.
Yeah.
If this guy is looking for red flags, all he has to do is reread what he wrote And if he doesn't come up with 200 red flags, I want him to reread it again and find all the red flags. Okay.
Well, you're right. I mean, look, I can understand it being concerning if she took your pictures down off her Twitter profile, but I assume she still has a Facebook for friends where it's not a professional profile. Like,
yeah, good point.
It just seems like, she could have started a second Twitter profile, but instead she decided to convert hers. She probably had a nice amount of followers. So she thought, let me try and build on what I already have instead of starting all over again. Be nice if she made a personal one, but I mean, that's what Facebook's for. I wouldn't be so much concerned about her trying to pursue a career. It's her choice of career that would concern me.
yeah.
He's only concerned with the shit that only kind of matters a little bit. But giant great white shark of a red flag. He's just sort of like, whatever, dude. NFT, it's awesome, but
she wants to be a virtual star for things that don't actually exist. Yeah.
I like the idea of taking real money and buying fake money with it, hoping it gets valuable. Exactly. But I want my picture next to her while she's doing it on Twitter.
I'm just wondering if he knows what an NFT is. It's like, oh, my girlfriend's a nutrition fitness.
Oh, so full disclosure, he explained it and I edited it out because I was like, oh my God, like it was like, and it was almost like a little like promo-y, like, anyway. But I do have a new idea for a holiday, so we've got Valentine's Day where you send a Valentine to someone that you love or have a crush on. We should have the antithesis of that, which is like a red flag holiday. So let's say that your relationship is or your friends or even your own, and you, instead of a Valentine, it's a little red flag and you write on what the problem is. And then you anonymously send it in the email. And it's just like totally socially okay. And like, you're not a dick for them.
Because everyone's had that friend who's with, I don't know, an NFT influencer.
You can't say anything the rest of the year, but you get one day where you could say it. Yeah.
Something. Yeah. And it's like, here's a way that I don't know, Joe Biden, Mark Zuckerberg, like somebody's got to figure out how to make it like anonymous. Even if you're like crazy mad good with computers, you can't figure out who the fuck sent this thing, because we've all been with that friend who's like, we just kind of go like, oh Christ, he's still with her. I can't say anything. I just gotta pretend. I gotta not have this look on my face every time I'm around him. Holy shit. That's what the red flag day for us. Yeah. 100%.
Probably the only bad thing is that we probably wouldn't get as much good music as we do, like and stuff.
True.
But yeah. Perfect. I think I give any other final advice for these NFT future stars?
Yes. My final advice is you're trading stock. I always give advice on this podcast that I never thought I'd give to anyone. I didn't think at the beginning of the show that my final advice to anyone would be get into NFTs now, like in 2023. Like I'd be like, no, it's gun to my head. It's never going to happen for $1 million. There's no fucking way I'm going to tell somebody to do this. I say, take that money out of the stock market, sir. Stock market, schmuck market. You get into NFTs. You make your own NFTs, and you make the biggest NFTs of you and your kid. Yeah. And then that way she has to have the picture of you and the kid on the site because it's blowing up and everyone's trying to get a piece of that. Make her sell pictures of you on her NFT site.
That's a good idea. Yeah, perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. I think that we answered all of the questions. I mean, we did a super job this time answering questions. Yes.
Thank you to all the listeners out there. This has been an awesome episode. Like and subscribe. Watch live every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Thank you to everybody on YouTube, especially to Matt, to Joel, to Haley. And thank you most of all to our guests, to Amy Liszka and the great John Fugelsang. Check them out. Sirius XM, Monday through Friday. Tell me everything. 9 p.m., 12 p.m. Eastern. Or 12 p.m. Eastern. I'm so fucking dumb. It's not an 18-hour show. It's not an 18-hour show. It's a 3-hour show. It feels like an 18-hour show. I promise. It will feel like you're in labor for 18 long splitting hours. But watch Tell Me Everything. So like and subscribe to the podcast. Or even listen. It's on the radio, so listening's better. You can watch it too, but it's just going to be a radio. That's right. So, listening is what you do with your ears. I'm not good with body parts and orifices. I was terrible with Mr. Potato Head. Terrible. That's what I heard. Thank you.
By
to
the way,
everybody listening.
by the way, none of your letters today were good with body parts or orifices either. Keep that in mind.
That's true. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this has been an awesome episode. Thank you to everybody listening out there. Thank you to Amy Liszka, to John Fugelsang.